Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. Today's Red Mic message: losing the vote. Most of us have been there. You've done the research, you've thought it through, you believe you're right, and you make your case, and you still lose the vote. It happens in boardrooms, city councils, legislative committees, and families. Losing the vote can feel like losing the mission. History tells us a different story. One of the most overlooked founding fathers was a guy named Elbridge Gerry. You might recognize his name, but in a different setting, a different reason. And that's because his name has become synonymous with the term gerrymander, though history got the pronunciation wrong. He said it with a hard G like Gary, and history remembers it as Jerry, as in gerrymandering. But there's a lot more to his story. Elbridge Gerry signed the Declaration of Independence and the Articles of Confederation. He attended the Constitutional Convention, he served on key committees, and helped shape the proposed Constitution. But then, when time came to sign it, he refused. Not because he opposed America or lacked courage. He believed the Constitution concentrated too much power in the national government and, crucially, failed to include a Bill of Rights to protect individual liberties. The convention disagreed. The Constitution was signed without him. And on the surface, Gerry lost. And because of his refusal, history sometimes labels him as anti-federalist. But that label doesn't fully fit. Gerry actually supported a stronger national government, but he just feared one without proper checks and balances. And honestly, I understand, because looking at the size of government today, some of those early anti-federalist warnings feel remarkably prescient. But history has an interesting way of rewarding principled conviction. When the Constitution went to the states for ratification, Gerry wasn't alone. Several state conventions recommended amendments to protect individual rights. James Madison listened. Within 2 years of ratification, the Bill of Rights became part of the Constitution. The very protection Gerry fought for became a defining feature of American liberty. That's a lesson that every leader should remember, because sometimes your objection doesn't stop the decision, it strengthens it. Sometimes your idea isn't adapted exactly as proposed, but pieces of it make the final product better. Too many people think leadership is about winning every argument, and it's just not. Leadership is about making the mission stronger, and that requires the courage to speak honestly, the humility to accept when others decide differently, and the character to keep serving even after the vote doesn't go your way. Elbridge Gerry eventually served under the very Constitution he refused to sign as Vice President of the United States under James Monroe. He didn't get everything he wanted at first. Neither do we. And sometimes we don't get our way at all. But you've got to remember, look at the big picture. Don't think of it as, did I win? Think of it, did I make the outcome better? Because sometimes leadership's not about getting your way. It's about making everything better, even if somebody gets the credit. That's today's Red Mic message. I hope you found it interesting or helpful. If you've got any examples of a time where you didn't get your way, but maybe the outcome turned out better than you thought it might have, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to know what you think. Remember, as always, life is short. Drink the bourbon. I'll see you tomorrow.